From the station that made country music famous, 650 AM WSM, this is a Coffee, Country, and Cody podcast. Hi, it's Charlie Mattos, and in this episode of our Coffee, Country, and Cody podcast, we sit down with a funny man, Aaron Weber. Aaron's featured on the new episode of Circle's Stand Up Nashville series. He's played the Opry and the Ryman as well. Enjoy our Coffee, Country, and Cody podcast with Aaron Weber.
That is, yes, I realize you're an actor, too. That is singer, songwriter, actor Trace Adkins on his birthday today. Trace celebrating. He's, 58? And one of the sweeter, you're going to miss this moments of Trace Adkins over the years on Coffee, Country, and Cody. He had like a 6:30 call time for a phoner or something with us. You remember that? You remember what he said?
Oh, I can see the sarcasm dripping off your face, Cody.
I called him Mr. Happy.
Mr. Happy,
I said,
yes.
Nobody I know would be happier to join us on radio at 6:30 in the morning than you, Mr. Happy. And then there was this long pause, which is where if it were in person, I wouldn't have done it.
Oh, no. The phone interview is the radio equivalent of Twitter. You just say everything you want to say because they can't beat you up in studio.
But, Trace, what a wonderful run this year at Gaylord Opryland. Later today on Circle Television, which is our TV home, country plays here, and so does comedy. And it's called Stand Up Nashville. And Aaron Weber is in studio with us this morning.
All right. Thank y'all for having me.
You doing well?
Appreciate it. I'm doing great, man. How about y'all?
Well, you're rocking the people on the television side can see you you're rocking the Cactus Ropes, Texas. Yeah. That's a feed cap is what we would call that.
I got it at a truck stop in Texas. I don't know much about the company, but I get asked about this hat quite a bit.
That's a great hat.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Are you a roper?
I don't do anything manual or physical or anything anything that this company does. I'm sure I've never done in my life. So, but I like to make people think that I do. You know? This is odd. So I've met Charlie and Cody. I've met y'all separately several times, but never seen y'all in the same room together. This is like worlds colliding here. I don't know how I feel about it.
It is, and we normally see you, to a point of reference, on the stage of the Grand Ole Opry, whether it's at the Ryman or at the Opry House, where we're hosting, and you're on stage doing that thing you do. And when you and I were together, what was your most recent Ryman show? Was this in the last month, and a half?
It was in the last month or so, one of the Christmas-themed ones.
And it's one of those nights where you leave there, and you must feel 10 feet tall and bulletproof because that audience loved you.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's hard to mess up at the Ryman. That's like the best venue acoustically and everything else. It just feels so good there that I was watching the show early on. I was like, man, I can't be the guy that messes this up. So you're right, it did.
I feel like everybody's their best self at the Ryman. It pulls us to our best self.
I think so. And that was the third show that I'd done with the Opry, so I was a little more comfortable too. And I could feel myself being more comfortable on stage, so it felt great.
So how did you wind up with your invite to come to the Opry? Was that through? Because I know you worked with Henry Cho out on the road some.
Yeah, I did a show with Brad Paisley at Zany's Comedy Club here in Nashville like 2 years ago. And the other comic on the show one of them was Dusty Slay. Who's an Opry guy as well. And Dan from the Opry was at the show and saw the two of us, and we kept in touch for like a year and a half, 2 years. And then I just kind of got an email out of nowhere. I was like, oh, man. So then that worked out, and then Opry's been a good friend to me since then.
It's good to be good with the GM watching.
Yeah.
So, that was a good night to be good.
That's a good guy to have in the crowd.
And he wasn't even the GM then.
No, he wasn't.
But he was the marketing director.
But he remembered 2 years later.
Yeah, absolutely.
The cool thing about the Ryman is, though, because, comedy clubs are, in general, kind of small, and they're right on top of you. I mean, 300, 400, 500, but they're right there. Yeah. And the Ryman, while it's 2,400, they're still on top. It's like the world's biggest comedy club. They're right on top of you.
It's not too deep.
Right.
Yeah.
Like the Opry House is amazing, but it's it's a huge building and it's very deep, and laughter kind of travels oddly in rooms that big, and you can hear it trickle through to the back of the room, and you're not as present in the room as you would be in a place like the Ryman, where they're literally, like you said, right on top of you. Mm-hmm. So yeah, the laughs sound great. It feels good.
That's the pride of Montgomery, Alabama. We'll talk about how you make it to South Bend, Indiana from Montgomery, Alabama to go to school coming up in our next segment. And Aaron hosting Zany's Comedy Club, Stand Up Nashville, the television show that's on later today here on Circle at 2 o'clock Central Time. Stephen Haas, Brent Terhune, Mia Jackson, Corey Forrester will be his guests. This is 650 AM WSM, Circle Television at Circle All Access.
Coffee, Country, and Cody on WSM.
The Band of the Fighting Irish.
As we welcome back Aaron Weber, who will be starring in Stand Up Nashville here, for those of you watching on Circle this morning. Have you ever been able to go back home to Montgomery since you graduated from Notre Dame?
I have been back a few times. I don't have much family there anymore, so...
Were they ashamed?
When you're from Montgomery,
you go to Notre Dame, they're ashamed of you.
Some of them were ashamed,
while you were away
for
at school,
sure.
They move.
Yeah. When you're from Montgomery, you need a reason to go back to Montgomery. You know what I mean? And if your family's not there, then there aren't many reasons. You don't go to vacation in Montgomery, Alabama. You know what I mean? So it's
I do know. I go through there every day, every time I go home. Yes.
Oh, yeah. So now that I don't have family there that I know of. So I haven't been back in a while.
So, and you don't have the South Alabama accent. So did your family move?
You.
Did they move there?
My mom and dad both grew up there.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah. And it's funny that you say that, because I was just in a different part of the country, and I was told that I have a very thick accent. So it's nice to come back to Nashville and be told that I don't have one. It feels good for sure. You know?
So how did you wind up at Notre Dame? That's an incredible story.
I was looking at schools. I said, I want to go somewhere where it's 10 degrees 8 months out of the year, and I want to be in debt the rest of my life, and I want the football team to break my heart every season. So I landed on Notre Dame.
3 for 3.
It's panned out pretty good.
One of the nice things about your bio is it says, after barely graduating from Notre Dame in 2014. So what did you barely graduate in?
It's good that we can laugh about it now. I failed a philosophy class twice. A class called Logic, actually, which sounds very basic, but it was a tough class. I failed it twice, so I had to go to summer school. And so this was like the worst thing to happen to me in my life at the time. My parents and everyone were so upset. But I did my whole graduation ceremony. I got a diploma, but there's nothing inside of it. They let me walk so I could be with my classmates, but it was all a sham. The whole ceremony was a farce.
The placebo diploma.
Yeah.
I've heard of that. We got threatened with it when I graduated from Vandy. It's like, you're going to get an empty thing if you don't,
Yeah, that's what happened.
Wow.
So I walked up there pretending that I was graduating, and I just got an empty booklet. It was so embarrassing. But, I went to summer school, and then I got the real thing after that.
So what was your major, actually?
I was a marketing... I was a double major in marketing and philosophy, but I ended up going down to a minor in philosophy because I failed that class. So that was at the last minute change of plans there. Yeah, I was not a good student, and now I'm not using my degree for anything. So I don't know. Maybe it was all a waste of time. Who knows?
Were you doing stand-up comedy while you were in college? Is that
there was a student group that I was in. I did maybe 6 or 7 shows my whole time in college. And then I took a year off after I graduated for some reason before I started doing open mics and stuff here in Nashville.
But you came straight from South Bend to Nashville?
I did, yeah. Came right to Nashville.
And why? Why did you choose Nashville?
Well, I had moved here with my family my junior year of high school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we moved up here because my dad got a job up here. And then I went away to college. I came back. Now I'm the only one left here. Which is I was the one that did not want to move here. I wanted to stay in Montgomery, and now I'm the only one still here.
Now, if I remember correctly, weren't you were a banquet guy for a while, right?
Oh, I was buffet guy.
Buffet guy. That's right, buffet guy.
Explain.
Yeah, I worked at a country club here in the Nashville area, which I won't say what it is, but it's named after a type of grass. And my job was I was the buffet guy. I was a buffet manager. That wasn't the official title, but I had to stand next to the buffet and refill all the food. That's what I did that's what I put my Notre Dame education to. I was the buffet guy. And I got a little bit of trouble at work when I made my name tag buffet guy. Or I made a custom name tag. And my boss was not happy about that. And that job did not last long. But fond memories of that country club over there.
And you play Zanies here in town when you're
Zanies,
in town.
Yeah, Zanies is my home club. They've really been great to me. I got the headline there for the first time in November, and it's cool because it's the first place that kind of let me do every stage of a comedian. I got to host there and then do the middle act and then headline. So they've been really good for me, for sure. And
on Stand Up Nashville, which people who are watching on Circle Television, or you can pull it up by typing in your zip code at WSMOnline.com in your market area. And I had, and I will pull up for the folks in Montgomery. I've got your hometown boy.
Nice.
I've got the affiliate coming up here. But tell us about who's on your Zanies, because this was shot at Zanies, right?
Yes.
The one we're going to see today?
Yeah, so I filmed a couple episodes. The one that aired, the one that's out already is 4 really funny comics. Corey Forrester, who's part of the Well-Read Comedy Tour. He did really, really well. Mia Jackson, who's an Atlanta comic that's now in New York City. Stephen Haas, who's a Chicago guy. And then Brent Terhune, who's from Indiana, and it was just a great lineup. It was great to be a part of it. I was really flattered that the Opry asked me to host one of the shows, because I was hoping to maybe just get a spot on the show, and then they asked me to host one. So I was really flattered, and I saw the episode. It turned out great. I was really happy with how it looked. It was weird to see myself with makeup on, and I really liked it. I'm thinking about. I was like, man, I look really good in that video. I'm thinking about doing that for all my shows now.
Just don't forget to take it off after
there
the
you
shoot.
go.
I've got a great story for you. 6:50 a.m. WSM. Our guest in studio this morning is Aaron Weber, who's hosting Zanies Comedy Club with Stephen Haas, Brent Terhune, Mia Jackson, Corey Forrester. Soundstage with Stevie Nicks follows us this morning at 10 o'clock on Circle Television. And at 2 o'clock, Stand Up Nashville, Aaron Weber. 2 o'clock, that's Central, and 3 o'clock Eastern time.
We shared some Notre Dame memories. I believe this man played the first ever concert in South Bend, Indiana at the football stadium.
Are you still drinking the Kool-Aid?
Yeah.
I thought you were.
Yeah.
I could tell.
Yeah.
This is Garth, and this is The Fever on 6:50 a.m. WSM.
He's got a split finger wrap and his rope pulled way too tight. He's got a lunatic smile cause he's really drawn deep tonight. He's got a fever, 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 fever.
All in, all done. Garth Brooks. Keeping up with the entertainment at Notre Dame Stadium is Notre Dame graduate, barely Notre Dame graduate, and our funny man friend Aaron Weber, who is going to be up today at 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern, Stand Up Nashville television show on Circle. And by the way, back home in Montgomery, WSFA 12.3 or WBRC 6.3. So
there we go.
This show is too big for just one station in the Montgomery market.
That's right. We
have 2.
Yeah, tune in, Montgomery. I'm sorry for making fun of our town earlier. I feel bad about it now, but we've got a real good thing going. I'm trying to backtrack here. We got good people down there, and no, it'll be great. Tune in, please.
What were you telling me about Notre Dame Stadium, though?
That Garth Brooks, as you know, did the first ever live music show at Notre Dame Stadium. Billy Joel's doing the next one. Yeah. So that'll be the 2 safest picks ever for Notre Dame. That's so Notre Dame. Hey.
An entire stadium of people singing Piano Man. For Billy, that's got to be a nightmare.
Yep.
No, I think you're okay on the Montgomery thing because Montgomery natives, they call it the Gump, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Is that a bad phrase, you think?
I don't know. I think it just sounds like the dump.
That's true. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I guess so. I never thought about that.
Endearingly.
Yeah, we got a good sense of humor about ourselves. We've looked around.
Yes.
Yeah.
So where do you find where you're going as a comedian and what you will be known for in stand-up?
Oh,
because yours is very much observational.
Oh, thank you.
But
I don't know. I hope I can just keep doing it because I've been full time for about 5 months now. It's been awesome. and I hope to just never have a real job ever again. So if I can just be known as a comedian and just continue to do comedy.
I think he's got it. You remind me of like how Seth Rogen, Jonah Hill, those huge comedians, they're just
those
funny.
Literally huge comedians.
No.
Thanks.
Yeah. See, he's great.
Yeah.
No, but you just
You remind me of two notoriously overweight guys.
He's good.
That's
He's
all right.
really
I appreciate
good.
it.
No, you're just
I love
funny.
those guys, so thank you.
You're amazing. I can tell.
Joe may wound up on the show before it's over. Aaron Weber, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate y'all.
Thanks for listening to our Coffee, Country, and Cody podcast. Our digital program director is Jay Patrick. Our digital producer is Haley Hall. Marketing and promotions director, Nicole A. Judd. General manager of 650 AM WSM is Chris Kulik. I'm Charlie Mattos. We'll see you next time on our Coffee, Country, and Cody podcast.